Barricades.com.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. Always appreciate y'all rolling through on 94.1 on your FM dial, or if you happen to be locked in and listening at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or maybe you're watching live on YouTube. We stream all of our shows via YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. You can comment along with the show there in the comments section, or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, if you want to be a part of the conversation. Always appreciate it when y'all roll through in the comments section or on the phones, and I get to have a conversation with y'all. But lots to get into today. Dallas Cowboys training camp going on in full force, and it's a lot to take in on what they're going through. I can't wait for the guys to get out there to get a first-hand view of what's going on out at training camp under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. But with a new head coach comes potential changes, and some of those changes could be on the offensive side, since Brian Coordinator is going from the non-play calling offensive coordinator to the actual play caller and head coach now. And we're hearing a lot of the things that, you know, are very opposite of Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy always talked about physicality and wanting to run the football. You just didn't see it much out of Mike McCarthy. With Brian Schottenheimer, he is talking about it, but he also seemingly feels like he wants to be physical. He wants to run the football. He's come from places before where he was an offensive coordinator that called plays that did run the football, whether that was in Seattle or in New York with the Jets. That feels more in line with his personality, especially knowing that he comes from his dad and Brian Schottenheimer or Marty Schottenheimer and Marty Ball, and what that entailed of being able to run the football and play action off of it and use that. So Schottenheimer and the potential changes on offense, they were talking about that this morning on the Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob, and what Schotty's offense could potentially look like.
I wanted to play some sound from Cowboys camp because obviously we're inching closer to being there. And Schotty is the guy. We haven't heard much from him, but we talked about, nobody's really talking about it.
We got a brand new head coach, a brand new defensive coordinator, and all we talk about is a contract that's going to get signed.
Well, Coach Schottenheimer was talking about the philosophy differences between he and Mike McCarthy. We talked about that the other day. Here's what he had to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I won't compare it to what Mike did. I thought, I really liked and a lot of things we did, under Mike. My philosophy is, again, get these guys on the field. We ask them to run around a lot and move around a lot. I think what I try to do is get them on the field, get them off. But they got to give us what we want in terms of effort and all that. So I would say some of the practices might be a little bit shorter, but we're trying to get the numbers, the GPS numbers, the catapult numbers up a little bit higher. But we're allowed certain amounts of time, and if they're not putting out, which they always have, then we can make practices up to 2.5 hours as we get going. But I think these guys like the philosophy. Let's get on, let's get off. Coach will lay it out there for you.
I don't know how much how different when you're talking about philosophy differences. I don't know if
yesterday
that's what people are asking about.
The Blitz had Clarence Hill on. He's with I'm going to make sure I get this right. He's with All City Dallas.
Okay.
And they asked him, what's practice like? I mean, what is it? We got a new head coach. He goes, the difference that early is you got a lot, like he was saying, I like them to run around. They're running from drill to drill. Shoddy is intentionally trying to shorten practice. So they do a lot of, they never stop moving kind of stuff, a lot of rah-rah stuff. And he did say the one thing that is gone that was so silly under McCarthy last. Remember the mojo moment last year in practice where they would stop practice and, all right, it's a mojo moment. And it's 4th and 3. And they would line up and do this kind of silly thing in the middle of practice. And if it worked, they'd all celebrate. If it didn't work, they'd all go back to practice and do something else. Right. It was dumb. That was one of those things in practice where everybody looked around like, not in high school. We don't need a mojo moment. So I think you got a lot of a rah-rah, a lot of activity. That's, at least early on, seems to be the change in practice. Shorter but crisper and a lot more fun-filled activities.
Well, listen, as long as everybody's having fun, that's all that really matters, right?
Wait, that's for Saturday.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's one of those early things that we've seen is there's a little bit more pep in the step than there was last year when they were kind of implementing and taking their time.
Then Shoddy, he talked about the one of the big things everybody's expecting to see differently is pre-snap motion. Everybody's talking about offense was static the last couple of years. What's going to be different? And if people are complaining about that, obviously the smart thing to do is go the opposite way. Here's Shoddy talking about pre-snap motion being key to what the Cowboys want to do.
I don't like to play static. I think, being static as an offense makes it easier on the defense. These defenses, you listen to our defense out there, Clarence, the way they communicate is elite, and so if we just line up in a certain formation, we kind of let them see things. It's easy for them to not only make their calls, their close right or left calls, moving their front, setting their fronts, but actually there's tendencies. Everybody goes into a game defensively with tendencies that in this personnel grouping, in this formation, based on where the back is, I'm making up 70% run and 30% pass. Well, really good linebackers and really good defenses that communicate well, there's tells. So when you shift or change the picture or you motion, it helps disguise that a little bit. And then, of course, when you're using your motions, they're very different. Your motions make them adjust on the run. Shifts, they generally can, what we say, reload the front. So if you shift, the defense can reload. But when you motion, they can't because you're snapping the ball on the run. So, we have those. We like those. Right now, we're playing around with some of the ones that we believe that we'll use, but we change them up pretty regularly.
Okay.
That was a dance. That was kind of a dance. He was hired to do this. You were brought in to do this. So we expect it. What are you talking about, dance? So we expect a lot of pre-snap movement because for all of those reasons. Yeah, you're here for this.
Well, and one more thing that apparently is going to happen more this year is the quarterbacks are going to be under center every once in a while, which not something we've seen a lot of.
Let me tell you, when Dak got here, he hadn't been like that since, learning to take a snap and all that was
like he had
a lot of work. Yeah, he had not done it in 4 years.
And they haven't done it a lot recently.
No.
But here's Shoddy talking about how he plans to implement that a little bit more this year.
Yeah, there's a number of things. Obviously, the balance of what you can do, both gun and under. We have both. There's a ton of tells when you're in the shotgun based off the back's location. If the back's offset weak, if the back's offset strong, there's tells. Dak feels like he's back at Mississippi State a little bit, playing under center. But that's really the main reason. We want to be multiple. You know that. We're going to be multiple. We're going to be difficult to defend because we're going to be under center. We're going to be in the gun. You haven't seen pistol yet, but pistol's coming for all of our opponents that are listening to me talk right now. There'll be some pistol. There'll be some wildcat. So again, we're going to be multiple, and we're going to attack people, and our system's built to do that.
I like that.
I like that too. I do think if you're talking about doing all this motion stuff, you're because you don't want to be static. Your quarterback can't always be standing in the same position. Otherwise, it becomes static.
And you need a healthy quarterback to do this.
It makes it real easy. It makes it. I shouldn't say it makes it really. It makes it easier to game plan for.
This is the best possible for Dak. He was kind of working with
one hand. It's great for Dak.
Well, what I'm saying is last year where they talked about the being in the shotgun and all the tells, and then you don't even go with any pre-snap to even kind of disguise or find out what the heck they're going. I think a lot of offense, he was playing with one arm behind his back because we didn't try to find out and alter the defense with pre-snap movement because we just called our play against whatever they felt like our setup was worth, and we never got him out of it. I think that there were times when it was doing him a disservice. So I think he'll have more tools for sure.
This is going to be fantastic for Dak. And the fact that he's talked about running pistol, running under the gun, running under center. Like all of these things are going to be great for the offense, and the lack of staticness, if you will, on offense, which is what a lot of fans were clamoring for. And for those astute to what he said, he also mentioned Wildcat in there. So, well, he was asked today, well, who's going to be the Wildcat quarterback if you're going to run a Wildcat package?
Micah, about Wildcat, I can't tell you guys who the Wildcat quarterback is. What if it was Beebe? Maybe it was Cooper Beebe that wanted to be. I mean, he is a Wildcat, Kansas State. I think Philly's drawing that up. Coach Fangio is drawing that up with Cooper Beebe back there and Dak snapping it to him. We're not doing that, Vic. Don't worry about it.
So for Dak Prescott, for the Cowboys offense, this is all good news. The biggest question I think that remains on offense is the offensive line and how good it's going to be, but they've invested so heavily in that position. You feel good about it. The real question becomes, what's the running back position look like? Because they didn't invest heavily. They changed a bunch of bodies in the room. They did bring in a couple in the draft this year with Phil Maffa and Jaden Blue. A previous 1,000-yard back in Miles Sanders, and a guy that had an arrow pointing really up in Javonte Williams until an injury, but he is now far enough removed that maybe we start to see the Javonte Williams that everybody expected when he was the second-round draft pick up in Denver and was doing very good with the Broncos. So what about that running back room? Well, he talked about that today as well.
We probably played too much into this last year. Of course, I'm talking about myself and Mike in terms of running back by committee. And, look, at the end of the day, it's early. If we have a guy that clearly wins the starting job, then he'll be the starting guy. Is he the bell cow? Like, there's all these cool words that go with, oh, he's a bell cow, or he's the man, he's the stud, or whatever. Let's let these guys compete. And it does take more than one. It usually takes more than two. You talk about, Hunter Lepke, is he one of the two? Well, he plays a bunch of football for us, and really, really like the young guys that we drafted. I talked about Jaden the other day, Phil Maffa. I just didn't see him in the spring, and now I'm seeing him. I really like what I see. He's doing a great job. So we're not ready. We're a long ways away, and I love that you asked the question, but we're a long way from knowing what this is going to look like. And in a 22-game season, whatever it ends up looking like, you're going to need all those bodies.
That's probably the most refreshing thing that we heard, is the fact that he's not married to a running back committee or a bell cow or anything else. He is willing to let this shake out and go with the best possible combination at running back and let that be what the Cowboys do. And I like hearing that from the head coach. I need to see it, but he's saying the right things, and he's been saying the right things ever since he got the job as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Now we just have to see action, and his words, his actions, how he handled the fights. Those are all things that we should be extremely, because he was with us one way in public about it. He wasn't ashamed to admit or that he got on the guys heavily about it, and that there will be repercussions when you step out of line, whether it's in practice or the game. And I think he's showing by action that he is a man of his word. And I think Cowboy fans can take that to heart. What about the future of college football and the UTSA Roadrunners? Well, they're in a newly rebranded conference, and Jeff Traylor was joining the Blitz earlier today, your head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, to talk about the new Look American Conference and what the season has in store for the UTSA Roadrunners, especially with all this uncertainty with the NIL and the committee and everything else that is going on. We'll discuss that next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
You know, the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team, we can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes, teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
It's your city and your budget. Meet us in your neighborhood for a town hall meeting in August to learn about the proposed budget. Find the dates and locations at sa.gov/budget or call 311. See you there.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the second annual Back to School Drive, Saturday, August 2nd from 11 till 1 p.m. or while supplies last at the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children while supplies last, so don't be late. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Sponsored in part by North Park Toyota, Centromed, Romo Door Supply, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Come on, Miss Becky. Just asking if the tie that I'm wearing is, and you could see the tie I'm wearing if you were watching on YouTube at SA Sports Star. You can go there. My tie is a tie. I do not wear clip-ons. I have a tie clip that has an arc reactor on it, but all my ties are ties, and this one is a knit tie. I'm fancy the knit ties, but I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, however y'all may be tuning in. You just heard the promo. That is right. On August 2nd, next Saturday, we are holding our back-to-school drive-through event. It is back out at the Gomez Law Firm, which is 2943 Moss Rock Road. For those of you that know, it is right behind the establishment off 410 that has the shark hanging out front. So it is right there. If you want to, you need to get your kids some school supplies. We will be handing them out, backpack and school supplies at the Back to School Drive. Is our annual event. This is our second year doing it. It is presented by the Gomez Law Firm, Air Ray, North Park Toyota, Las Palapas, Romo Door Supplies, Central Med, and the College of Healthcare Professionals, as well as Lighthouse Public Schools. So be sure to go and check that out right there out at 2943 Moss Rock Road, right there off 410. So it'll be good to see y'all out there. I'll be out there for that as well. If y'all want to come out, grab a bar. And Fred Records, yes, that is exactly the place that I'm talking about. The place with the shark out front off 410. Right there, just before you get to the I-10 interchange on 410. Those that know, know. Those that know also know that the American Athletic Conference is rebranding itself into the American Conference. And in doing so, they are holding their media days starting today. And UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor was gracious enough with his time to join the Blitz today as Jason and Joe got to talk to him.
On the Buyers Barricades guest line, it is UTSA head football coach Jeff Traylor joining us here on the Blitz. Coach, I know you were making some rounds during the Texas High School Coaches Association, doing some media there. Media today at the media days. Well, how do you prep for events like the Coaches Association or even today, knowing you're getting a gazillion of the same questions?
Well, luckily I've got a man named Kyle Stevens that stays in front of that. Kyle and I have worked together so long. I let him know, to kind of watch that kind of stuff and just prep me for what the questions might be. And even I like finding, other guys that have similar personalities to me that might think kind of like me. And Kyle will kind of brief me on some of their answers. Because I don't want to make a short story long, which is what I'm kind of famous for.
Well, Jeff, I don't know if you can find anybody that's like you. You're kind of one of a kind, my friend. I'm not sure there's anybody else out there like you.
Well, I think that is the greatest compliment anybody could ever give me, Joe. I appreciate that.
Well, and obviously so much about, this time of year, the excitement level of starting the season. Last year is in the rear view. A lot of high expectations on your football team coming in this year, either pick to win or finish second in the American. So, the target is on your back.
Yeah, well, it's just from the last 5 years of having good football teams. I mean, I've learned some things just by when you do these things. Kyle lets me know stuff. Like, I didn't know we had won more games in the state of Texas than any school since we've been here in 2020, which that number is 46. I didn't know, being 29-3 at the Alamo Dome was the third best in the country behind, Alabama and Ohio State. That's pretty impressive. So I think that's a lot of – now, let's be honest, that's a 5-year picture. Last year, I thought we let 3 games get away. And when you're a head coach and you lose to teams that you think you're better than, those bother you. So we've got a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouth. And I don't want, just because we finished so strong last year and we finished so hot, to cover up a season where I felt like we did not achieve what we should have achieved.
Coach, just taking a look at the landscape of college football, it seems to change so often. You've got Memphis now that it seems like they're looking to leave the American Conference, or at least that's the reports, and nobody wants them, as it turns out. I don't mean that as a shot at them. Well, maybe I do. But you got Texas State now going to the Pac-12. Do you have to prepare yourself, or do you think about that at all, that year to year things could be completely different?
I just don't know why you would waste any time doing that. I've got an AD that's what her job is. I have a president. Obviously, he leans on her. And, when I need to be involved, I get involved. But the only way I can help them is by winning football games and winning championships and getting that Alamo Dome packed. And, we play A&M in less than 40 days. So I've got to keep, my focus on what I can control. And obviously, the more we win, the better we do, the better position that puts my president, my university, and my AD in.
Well, and I would imagine, though, in today's financial landscape when it comes to college football, if Memphis were to leave, that's probably better for you in the American, isn't it?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I know they're a good brand. They've won a lot of games, and they make our league better. So if I had my choices, we'd still be in Conference USA because I know we would be winning a whole lot of games. So not that league is bad. It's not. We just kind of had that. We were in a good spot in that league. And when we moved up in this league, you're chasing some guys in Tulane, South Florida, Memphis, Army that have been traditionally great for a long, long time. And when you're a new program and new university, obviously going to this league, it's taking a little bit of adjusting for us, but we're getting closer and closer.
But you guys compete, Jeff, in this league with the competition. And Jason and I talk about it all the time. The American Conference, to me, is just right there on the doorstep of one of the power conferences. To me, it is the best non-power conference in the country. Would you agree with that?
Well, we've got to go prove it on the football field, and we've got a great opportunity to do that. We play a very good team, obviously, in A&M, but they're not in the conversation of what you just asked me. But then we've got Texas State, who's from the Sun Belt, going to the pack. And then we've got, a really good UIW team who won 11 games last year. But then we go to Colorado State up there. So we've got a real chance to speak for our conference in those first 4 games. And I think it's very important that we prove that during football season, not just some head coach on here running his mouth during talking season.
Jeff Traylor joining us here on the Blitz. It is talking season. Soon you're on the practice field, and then obviously you have that first game coming up August 30th at Texas A&M. But as you start camp here next week, the fact that you have your quarterback back in Owen McCown, and I heard Eric Morris say a couple of days ago, now the head coach at North Texas, he lost his quarterback, the Morris kid, made 3 times the money North Texas could pay him by going to Virginia. Just knowing you're going in with a quarterback that wants to be here, that could have left for more money, how comforting is that knowing you've got your guy, a relationship with, that understands what you want to get accomplished?
Well, it's the most important position on the field, and not just because he's the one that has the ball every play, but his leadership. I think he's also the reason Houston Thomas stayed, Patrick Overmeyer stayed, Devin McEwen stayed, David Amador stayed, Robert Henry stayed, Kamar Missouri stayed, Jay Garth stayed, Corey Godnet, Vinley Toofer. I mean, we had a lot of guys that had the opportunity to leave, and obviously y'all know we don't have that kind of pocketbooks to pay to compete with those P4s that we're trying to get them. So I think he has not just an effect on the quarterback position. I think he has an effect on Owen Pee-wee, who stayed, who could have gone and played some other places in the country. So, yes, we're thrilled to have him, but not just because of the on-the-field stuff. In this new modern world, he also is our lead recruiter in keeping our team.
Well, it's a good thing.
You're paying him, might as well get as much use out of him as you can.
Absolutely. Jeff, do you still struggle? First of all, let me ask a question this way. The revenue share was approved. Are you happy about that? And I know you guys can't raise the money that some of the other schools can, but is that a start in your mind of maybe getting some guardrails around this whole thing?
It just depends on what that's going to look like outside of that. Like, what kind of power is Deloitte really going to have? Are they really going to be able to stop the crazy numbers just given away for somebody making one appearance to do one commercial? If they can get that under control, yes. If no, then it's just going to be the universities on the hook for paying these players. Plus, it's going to be whoever's boosters spend the most to buy the best roster. And then I think we're right back to square one again. So I think the piece we're all trying to figure out is Congress going to get involved? And if they don't, how much power is Deloitte really going to have to enforce real NIL deals and not pay for play?
Well, and for those that aren't doing it the right way, what's the enforcement level like? Because right now it doesn't feel like, the NCAA has the teeth to really do anything. So, what are the actual penalties and can it be enforced?
And let's just say Deloitte does a great job of enforcing it. Then does it go back to the old days where the deals are done under the table?
You kind of miss those days.
I kind of miss those days, Coach.
At least we were just talking about it. We didn't know it for real. You know what I mean? Now we all know.
I mean, it's funny because you joke about it and people say we miss those days and rumors and stories, and we never knew what was really true and how much was truly a $100 handshake or whatever. But even now you hear numbers that are thrown about and you don't even know how factual those numbers are that are reported, whether it's a $50 million roster, a $20 million roster or whatever. Nobody really knows because there's no actual reporting of it.
I personally believe a lot of those numbers are tremendously embellished because look who benefits from that. Agents benefit from that. The more they can drive up the numbers, the more cut they're getting. The more stories are written, the more clicks people are getting. So the guys writing the stories and the guys that are providing the information, I have a feeling both parties might be slightly embellishing some of those numbers.
Well, you talk about embellished numbers. When you coaches are together, how does it go about assigning the value of a position group? Like quarterbacks make this, wide receivers make this, left tackles make this, guards make that. Is there amongst the coaches and those that are actually having to write checks in today's world, are kind of like in the NFL, how much value is put on a position or position group?
Yeah, I would imagine we're all doing the same thing. None of us are being honest with each other either. But we can't, we're not going to want to tell our opponents what our numbers are. Some of us might be lowballing. Some of us might be exaggerating. It depends on the audience you're speaking to at the time. Because why would you want people to know what your exact number is? Because the other teams, their boosters and their president are going to want to beat them, so they're going to go higher. So, here's where I would say that's what's so great about percentages. When you work off the percentages, you know what the percentage is. So I know what my real number is, right? And obviously, I'm not at liberty to share what I want to share that, but I know what my number is. So my quarterback room is going to work off the exact same percentage of the NFL quarterback's room. Our left tackle, our right tackle, our edge rusher, our corner, our lead receiver, all that is going to work off of the exact percentage the National Football League uses. So, the decimal points are obviously different because our decimal spot is not the same spot as Texas Tech. But the percentage we work off is the exact same. And Joey and I are so close. I know him and I do it the exact same way. And I would imagine other teams do. And luckily, I've got, my son's in the league and been in the league for a while. So I can verify to make sure our numbers are all matching up.
All right, Jeff, I want to ask you this question. You answer it however you want to. With the new revenue share that's out there, and I realize the position UTSA is in and where you guys are, but do you feel confident you're going to get the amount of money that you feel like you need to make sure that your players are happy and staying here?
I'm not for sure what that number is in our league. I'm not. I know we had enough this year to hold this team together. It's going to need to be significantly more for us to stay competitive in this league. But for this year, we had enough to hold this team together.
Jeff Traylor, UTSA head football coach, joining us here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And he's joined via the Buyers Barricades guest line. They provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. And lots to digest with Jeff Traylor. I know Ryan was asking about the alleged DM leak between Josh McCown and a Memphis defensive back. And look, it's all alleged. I know there are screenshots. Screenshots can be altered, but there was a lot of players that said, hey, they had an answer for every one of our audibles. And there is, look, that player was later released from the team, which stokes the fire to this allegation. But even if you're handed the answers to the test, are you not going to use them? So even if they did, there's nothing wrong with that, because you use, multiple assets, coaches, film study. You're using everything to get tells and find out what these guys' signals are, what they're running, what signals mean what formations, what signals mean what calls. So if it's just handed to you, that's on the players. And if they had the answers to the test, maybe Memphis will be a little bit more motivated this year. Maybe UTSA is just going to do the same thing that they did that the Astros did when they were accused of cheating, which is continue to keep winning at a high clip. And that's the best way to answer any alleged form of cheating or impropriety or anything else, is just go out there and continue to win. It quiets everything. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I'm James Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM, sasportstar.com. I thought it was interesting yesterday on the Morning Huddle what Rob and AJ had to say about Cowboy fans and where they are in the grand scope of things. I'll let you know what I mean when we come back next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Kathy, what is the name of the couple?
It was Mark and Sheila.
Speech impediment Terrence. Please put together a quick marriage announcement for Mark and Sheila.
Oh my gosh.
Mark and Sheila. Don't be getting married.
Terrence, calm down.
Amen.
Amen.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking and the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword Mike Rowe to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs From voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The offense for new head coach and play caller Brian Schottenheimer has been revamped. Offensive line revamped, a healthy deck, new weapons with George Pickens to complement CeeDee Lamb, and a whole new running back room, and potentially a whole new philosophy on offense.
You wanted this noise. You wanted this noise.
We're taking you with us for all the insight from Oxnard, California. San Antonio Sports Stars, coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, and sponsored in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP. Starting Monday morning, live from Oxnard, South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Fletcher right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Fletcher. Appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight as we take you up till 7 o'clock. And, man, I was listening the other day to the Morning Huddle, and they got into Cowboy fans and what they remind them of. And, man, they kind of nailed it.
I believe there's a few franchises in sports whose fans are willing to put up with anything. And Cowboy fan is one of them. Like, for me, I broke up with my NBA team. I hated the way they were run. And I said, you know what? I just don't, you're bringing me more grief than joy in my life. And I'm out. And I walked away and I haven't looked back. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are one of those teams where no matter how much they abuse you as a fan, their fans cannot walk away from it. It's like I think Cubs fan is kind of in the same boat. Like if you're a Cubs fan, like you don't even really care about wins and losses. You're diehard. You're going to be diehard no matter what. Maybe Boston Red Sox fan is in that same boat. Raider fan, I feel, is kind of like, because the Raiders are historically mismanaged always, and the fans are still the fans. Cowboy fan feels like that. Like no matter what they do, you're not walking away from this thing. And they kind of know that. So when you say Jerry's priority isn't winning, It's lining his pockets. It's becoming a bigger like being a bigger name in media, being a bigger star. That doesn't help you as a fan.
Well, it depends, man.
Like you want wins.
Well,
you want to buy a championship hat.
Well, I think you find your happiness where you can. And I think Cowboy fan has been appeased for 30 years. There are not a lot of Super Bowls, but you can't turn on the TV. You can't listen to guys like us without getting Cowboy conversation. And so they get treated like they're champions. So the only thing, when you hear him like Mike McCarthy say, this is a Super Bowl quality team, or we've won at every level, but all this other kind of stuff, we're a Super Bowl team that doesn't have the trophy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That feeds the fans, because we as Cowboy fan get treated like Cowboy champion. We're the first story of any football year is always what is Dallas doing, and then what is the Super Bowl champ doing? I mean, ESPN feeds it to us. So there was a line in a movie back in the early 90s, The American President, where his campaign manager, his chief of staff, turned to him and said, they don't drink the sand because they're thirsty. They drink the sand because they don't know the difference. Cowboy fan doesn't know the difference. We get treated like we're winners. We do. Now, we suffer the beating. We suffer all the stuff of not being the winner. But the fact remains, when the season begins, what's the Super Bowl champion doing, and what are the Cowboys doing? So we get to live the life of a champ, but we get kicked in the teeth every January. But come April, we're first and foremost. And now it's not always great news, but it's news. And we're drinking that sand because that's the success of it. Where's New England now? Do you hear anything about we had 20 years of Patriots, and now they are gone.
Okay.
Off the map. Cowboys continue, just keeps going.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not saying it's good.
Would you trade their last 20 years for yours?
Absolutely, I would, because I know as a champion, as a fan of a true champion, the Spurs, all that matters. The only thing that quenches that thirst is truly the title. It ain't the sand. It ain't the news. It ain't all that. It is. But I have had the luck of being a Spurs fan. So I know that at the end of the rainbow, that pot of gold is worth it. It is worth everything that the Cowboys have refused to give up. All the things that Jerry has held on dearly because it feeds that part of him. It's worth it to give it up and hold the trophy. And everybody who's done it over a period of time knows that. But it's been so long for Jerry, it's just better to be above the fold and be talked about. So we're drinking the sand because we don't know the difference.
I feel, and you, first of all, being a Spurs fan, like you've had a lot of celebration, a lot of victories. That's a good feeling for you. But also, you're an Aggie fan, where there's a lot of
where hope springs eternal. But I'm not drinking the sand. I know where the situation I find myself.
Okay, because I don't know. It feels like Cowboy fan is almost like a collegiate fan.
How about being a Buffalo fan?
The difference is, like, most of the years that I've been a Buffalo fan since I was 8-9 years old.
And you haven't tasted success since we tasted success.
No, I've never tasted ultimate success. But I guess the difference is, as a Bills fan, I'm also fully aware when my team is not going to be good, and I just accept it. Like, whereas Cowboy fan, it's almost like there's people still, I see people in the chat, we're going to win 10, 11 games this year.
No Super Bowl. They're not talking Super Bowl. They're winning 10 games. See, we're drinking the sand. That's
and also,
enough.
like me, I'm almost the opposite. Like I've almost gotten to where I expect something dreadful to happen. Like I'm almost battered where I feel like even if the Bills are the best team, or if they go 17-0, I feel like they're gonna lose in the Super Bowl or lose in the AFC Championship.
Would a Super Bowl cure that?
Yeah, of course. But I think I don't know.
And it's funny because a lot of Cowboys fans are also Spurs fans, and the dichotomy of those two things, because Spurs fans used to scream at the mountaintops when they were good during their heyday. No one ever talks about us. No one ever talks about us. I think a lot of you are Cowboy fans, and you're used to being talked about. So having one of your teams talked about ad nauseum and the other one not talked about at all kind of hits you. But the Cowboys are above being bad and not talked about. And that's just the way they are. It's the way they've been branded. And it is status quo of business. And it's part of the reason, Jerry is so great, because he has made this a self-sustaining entity in terms of you can't not talk about them. Teams that don't get enough coverage, like the Houston Texans, well, I'm going to give it to you next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star is sending our boys to see the boys.
How about him, Cowboy?
Our AA Best Bail Bonds coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California begins Monday morning, July 28th. Sponsored in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 FM.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist, with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
You know that thing called AI? Supposed to make the workplace super efficient? Well, there's something better. DI, Delicious Intelligence. It's tech that helps make work efficient and yummy. Leading the DI revolution, EasyCater, a workplace food platform that connects you to tons of favorite restaurants with tools to save time and stay on budget. Need tacos for 20? Falafel for 40? A variety of vegan breakfast sandwiches? Now that's a tasty prompt. Join the DI revolution. Order now at easycater.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is interesting because of the overlap between Cowboy and Spurs fans. Cowboys, talked about all the time, always in the news, always being talked about on TV, radio, et cetera, no matter where you turn, get up, NFL Network, your local news station, whatever it may be. Cowboys, always going to be there, right? Sam's asking, show tomorrow? Yep, got to show tomorrow. Older Spurs fans, they know not being covered. They know being covered despite championships. The Spurs now are being covered a lot despite not winning. Which you like more? Having your team in the headlines or quietly winning? Because I think part of you likes having the team talked about. And that's all fandom. I like hearing about my team in the national news, and mine being the Houston Texans or the Houston Rockets. And with the addition of Kevin Durant, they're being talked about a lot more lately. But as far as the Texans, there's a lot of questions to be asked about what's going on. Everybody expected CJ Stroud to take that massive jump last year. Didn't happen, but it didn't happen in part because guess what? Offensive line sucked. Didn't give them much time. And yet they still somehow won 10 games, got to the second round, and gave the Chiefs everything they can handle at home en route to their appearance in the Super Bowl. So after that, can this team take that next step if this offensive line is any better? Well, Titus Howard talked about the new schemes that they're going to be running out at Texans camp.
The scheme is a lot more simple. I was in this scheme a little bit when I first came into the league. But
O'Brien.
It's really just, I think the biggest thing with Nick and Cole is the mindset. Like, our mindset last year wasn't like it is this year. Like, our mindset now is we got to get downhill. We got to get on guys early and move them. And that's something that we struggle with on the offensive line of the pass is getting the run game going. Because you get the run game going, the pass game going to get going. So we got to be able to establish that run early. And they just been attacking the details of the run game and getting double teams a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of double teams. So we're just working on those fundamentals every day and trying to get better.
So, and he mentioned they're going to be running a lot more gap, a lot more duo. And we heard John McClain earlier on the Blitz talking similarly. And, they ran that under Bill O'Brien. And is it going to be more effective? Because I think they went to a gap scheme at certain times last year, and the running game got better when they did those things. And obviously, I think Dameon Pierce was better running in that type of system and has struggled in that zone system. So Danielle Hunters says he's already noticed a difference in the offensive line.
Oh man, right away. They did a good job of keeping us a little bit further away from CJ. No, that was noticeable on day one. But it's up to us as a D-line to adapt. And from what I've seen so far, they've been doing a pretty good job.
Can you shed some light on what is it your technique that's different?
I mean, you could definitely tell there's a change of technique in the way they set as an O-line. I think it's for the better, and hopefully it's going to help us win some football games this year.
And that's the hope, because if you can keep CJ clean and this team gets out to leads, being able to unleash that defensive front with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson and what they're able to do to create pressure. And you've got Stingley and Lassiter on the back end with Kalen Bullock and now CJ Gardner-Johnson. That's going to be a very, very feisty defensive group. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up next, we got Amber and Ian right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN Radio. Look, remember to check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life. And a simple, hey, how are you doing, can change everything for them. Until tomorrow, we will see you guys. Don't forget, start your morning with AJ and Rob and the Morning Huddle, 6 to 10. Then the Blitz with Jason and Joe. They'll get you going from 2 to 6, and I'll take you home tomorrow night at 6. This has been Extra Innings with Pledger.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.